Alright, welcome to the first week of the Dirty Boys Gambling Show. If you got a problem with it starting week 3 of the NFL season, go fuck yourself. We're going to be going over every NFL game over the weekend, giving our picks of the either over-under, spread, or the money line with a parlay that comes at the end of the video. It's usually going to be a 3-team or something like that. And over the next however many weeks that we do this over the season, we're going to keep track of our record and even our parlay records so that you guys can follow along if you want or fucking fade us if we're cold. Alright, hope you all enjoy it. Okay, so game 1, we got the Carolina Panthers versus the Houston Texans. The Panthers are favored -8 with a -357 money line and an over-under of 45.5. I personally like the Carolina Panthers -8. They've came out to a pretty good start, 2-0. They just had a good win against the Saints, absolutely shutting down Alvin Kamara, getting a couple picks off of Jameis. And just after losing Tyrod this past week, I don't see Davis Mills being able to get it going. But if he did, it would be the start of the Mills army.
You know, I like the -8 too. I'm thinking those receivers are just too much for that Texans defense. A lot of veterans, but there's a lot of speed on that Panthers team with McCaffrey, Robbie Anderson, and
DJ Moore.
Yeah, DJ Moore is a lot of speed. So I don't think the Texans can keep up. I like the -8, and I'd even go up to -10 if I could. I think the Panthers are gonna have this one pretty well.
Don't hate it, but I definitely think the -8 is a good pick. Washington Buffalo. The line is Buffalo favored -7.5. Washington +7.5. Washington money line is +280. Buffalo is +357. I don't see Washington winning the game, but the over/under is also 46. I don't think Washington can win this game, but I definitely think that their defense is good enough to hold them in there long enough to come within striking distance at the end.
Okay.
But I don't see them necessarily winning, but they come within striking distance with the 7.5.
Yeah. I think for this one, actually, I'm looking at, I do like the Bills in it. Just because Washington football team, their line they were kind of the force of that defense, and they haven't been looking too great. And I don't see them stopping Josh Allen on third downs. But yeah, I think the Bills are gonna own this one pretty well too.
So we're going against each other. You got Bills -7. You got Bills on the numbers?
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, I got Bills on the numbers, but another one that I also like is the over of 46. Taylor Heineke. And,
I don't mind that at all.
Terry McLaurin have been having a nice connection going, and just, are you really gonna bet against the Buffalo offense? Those guys are a fucking wagon.
Yeah, Heineke has been throwing spirals in nice places, and no matter how good the defense, I don't see you stopping that.
Chicago-Cleveland. Cleveland's favored -7. The money line is +250 for Chicago, -303 for Cleveland, and the over/under is 46. I'm taking Cleveland on the numbers -7. I don't think that the Bears could keep up with that run game. Yeah, their defense just had a good week, but with a backfield of Kareem Hunt and Nick Chubb, eventually your linebackers and tackles are going to get tired and not want to hit your guys anymore.
Yeah. Yeah, this is one where I actually like 2 bets in it. So I'm going the opposite. I like the Bears a lot. I thought they looked really good against the Bengals until the end of the game. And I like the under. I think that these defenses, I really like the Browns' defense along with their offense, but I like the Bears' defense a lot too, but I don't like the Bears' offense. So I don't see them scoring much. I could easily see it being like a 24-3 game. And I think the Browns will get some points, but I just don't see the Bears doing... Oh, fuck.
Okay, but what you also gotta remember is fucking one of the big reasons why Chicago got a bigger lead in the second half of last week's game was Roquan Smith's pick six.
Those pick sixes, yeah.
So it's not like their offense got rolling on Cincinnati's defense, which is not good.
You're right. I said the wrong one. I like the Browns, even though I like the Bears D, but I like the under. I like the Browns and the under with that because I don't see the Bears doing too much because I like both Ds.
Yeah. Alright, then I got Baltimore-Detroit as my next game. Baltimore is favored -8.5 with a -400 money line, while Detroit is +320 and the over-under is 49.5. With Lamar Jackson just coming off of a big win against the Chiefs, I think the Ravens are going to be fucking feeling themselves. So I see them just having a field day with Detroit, who just lost 2 tough ones, honestly. So I feel like losing those back-to-back and then going to face a team like Baltimore is just deflating.
It is just defeating. And I'm on that same page with you. I'm just going to add that the Lions, I think they're going to be really good this year. I think they will have a lot of upsets, but it's just
I think they're going to be like
this.
the 49ers a couple years ago. Like the year
Close
before.
games.
Where it's like they're not going to win many games, but they will at least be in it and cover a lot of times. Which is another reason why I don't hate them in the over also.
Yeah, and they're not offensively skilled enough to control the pace of any game, so they're going to be basically playing another team's game every single week.
Yeah, you're going to have to pass into it at some point.
Yeah, and Lamar Jackson, he's just pretty much going to win this himself, I see it.
Yeah, or maybe they get the running backs involved more. Who knows?
Terrence Williams, I think.
Yeah, Tyson
Williams. Yeah, I'm still lost in that backfield. Yeah, there's so many guys coming out.
There's too many. All right, next game is Indiana and Tennessee. Tennessee is favored by 5.5, minus 250 money line. Indiana plus 210 money line, and the over under is 48.
Yeah.
I like the Indiana. I honestly like Indiana money line, but in the gambling sense, I'm gonna stay a little conservative and take them on the numbers. Yeah, they haven't looked the absolute greatest the past couple weeks, but they've hung in games.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna say like their offense is tuned or their defense is primed, but they've shown signs that they can hang in there.
For sure, they've had tough opponents too, both NFC West opponents. In the we're talking about the Colts, right? In the Rams and the Seahawks.
Yep.
So I'm super surprised at that 210. Like I like that Colts money line too.
Yeah, there could be great value in that because it's definitely going to be a close game. It could go either way, honestly, but I do think that Indiana will pull it out.
Yeah, my big thought with that is the Colts are better on defense, and when you're better on one side, you could win any time.
You could win a game if you could dominate the line. You could win the game.
And they're way better on defense. Their offense and defensive line is better than the Titans. And
they just got to worry about concealing Derrick Henry.
And my biggest thing is just Carson Wentz can't throw the game away.
No, he can't.
If he can manage the game, that's a game-managing team that could win almost any week with like a Ryan Tannehill if they had.
Yes, they would be a playoff team easily.
Yeah.
I mean, that division is wide open for the taking.
A lot of divisions here.
Yeah, it really is. It's going to be a dogfight all the way down to the end. Next up on the list, we got the Chargers versus the Chiefs. The Chargers are plus 6.5 underdogs with a plus 250 money line, while the Chiefs come in at minus 303. The over-under on that game is 54. What do you think about that?
On that over-under, I like the over on that, but my main thing I'm looking at in this betting is the 6.5. The 6.5 for me for the Chargers. I liked them last week against the Cowboys, even though they lost. They missed a lot of opportunities in that game.
Definitely.
And the Chiefs have been giving up points, even with their games. So, this is big for Herbert. This is just like
a statement game.
Like Lamar Jackson last week.
It was a big statement game for Lamar, especially after he came in saying that the Chiefs have owned or dominated them in the past.
The monkey in the back. So
but,
this is
I'm also riding with the over because Kansas City coming off of a loss, their offense is going to come out firing. There's no way you can keep Tyreek Hill for 2 straight weeks. And also the Chargers coming off of a loss, that I feel like they're going to have the ache of needing to get this win, especially against a division team.
Yeah, I see that for sure. Herbert, if he wants to keep up with this young quarterback conversation, this is a big game to just kind of cement himself still in there.
All right, next up we got New Orleans versus New England. New England is a minus 2.5 favorite with a 154 money line and an over-under of 42. While New Orleans comes in with a plus 135 money line.
Yeah.
I honestly like New Orleans money line. Yes, they just beat the living shit out the Jets. But that's because Bill Belichick has historically always done well against rookie quarterbacks. And Zach Wilson hasn't exactly looked great out of the gate. I mean, he's looked good. He's had flashes, but he's not there yet as a quarterback.
Which
So I've New Orleans and New England.
Mac Jones.
Mac Jones. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, no, I was talking about last week.
How they got beat by New England. Yeah.
How they got destroyed.
Right. You're right.
But yeah, so I'm taking New Orleans money line, especially after Kamara only had 5 rushing attempts last week. There's no way that you can bottle up Kamara for 2 straight weeks like that.
Wow, I'm surprised that New Orleans is underdogs in this. I like the money line too.
That's what I'm saying. You got to ride it.
This one surprises me a bit just because New Orleans had 7 offensive coaches out last week, so it was definitely going to be some struggle in that offense. And man, after week 1, I can't see that team being able to settle down and not do well. I guess they're not going to be as inconsistent as they were.
No,
I do like and then New England, Mac Jones.
He's still unproven. He looks solid,
but he just doesn't look explosive at all. He looks like he can hit every drag route in the book.
He looks exactly what you expect out of him.
Yeah. I'll
honestly,
say one thing. Yeah.
Like, as if I were running a team, I would love that.
He's a stand-up guy. It's a real. Did you?
He's a citizen.
Just to say one thing here, did you hear what he said about Zach Wilson after the game?
No.
He was like, he didn't say anything bad. He said, "Well, I went up to him and said we're both young quarterbacks and we're both going to improve." Like, this dude just had 4 interceptions.
He just Iverson stepped over him.
Yeah. No, that was cool. So for sure this money line over New England.
All right, next up we got Atlanta and the Giants. The Giants are favored -3 with -161 money line, while Atlanta's at +135. The over/under on the game is going to be 48. Both teams' offenses had a good week last week. The Giants impressed me against Washington. Daniel Jones made some throws, but he impressed me more with the legs. Mm-hmm. So after seeing that, I feel like the Giants are going to try to utilize him more with his running ability over the next couple weeks. And Saquon is still coming off of that injury, so it's only a matter of time till they fully let him loose again.
Yeah, for sure.
So I'm riding with the Giants -3 on that game.
You know, I like everything you said, but the only thing for me is I think Atlanta's offense is a lot more explosive than people are even giving them credit for.
It is, but you're also possibly discrediting the Giants' defense a little bit at that point, too.
With a lot of time. You're right. I don't know. I like Atlanta +3. I actually have Atlanta in the money line, and I like the over in this game, too. But I like Atlanta beating the Giants in this game. I don't know. I didn't like how the Giants looked against Washington. I don't like their coaches. It just doesn't make me feel comfortable with them. In Atlanta, they're not the best situation, but coming off of 2 losses with scoring that much, I'm thinking gambler's fallacy. It's a matter of time they're going to keep scoring and get that.
Yeah, because if your offense could stay hot, there's no reason why you eventually can't outscore a team. But just going back on that Atlanta defense, Jalen Hurts lit them up. And then you just saw him last week against the 49ers. He didn't look too great.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's even more reason why I'm leaning towards the Giants, even after the loss to Washington. I still just like the Giants there.
Yeah. It's all good.
All right, so moving on to the next game, we got the Cincinnati Bengals versus the Pittsburgh Steelers. Cincinnati is +4.5 with a +160 money line. Steelers are coming in at -189. And it's a 44 over/under. I like the under in this game. I hate taking unders, but the Pittsburgh offense has not looked that good. Joe Burrow just had one of his worst weeks of his career, besides the week he got injured, because, I mean, how could it get much worse than tearing your ACL? But, so I see Joe Burrow having a bounce-back week against the Steelers' defense, but I don't see them lighting it up. So I'm taking, and 44 is a lot of points.
Yeah.
And it's an in-division team, so I feel it's going to be close. So I honestly don't hate Cincinnati +4.5 either.
Yeah. I don't like anything really in this game except for the under. I'm with you on that.
Yeah, right?
The Raiders looked efficient. They looked good, and they still only scored in the 20s.
Yeah,
they looked really good.
They are moving the ball.
That Steelers defense is hard to get touchdowns on.
And they had a couple big plays, especially the one to Henry
They're
Ruggs.
hard to get touchdowns on. So unless the Bengals can hit the over-the-top play, I don't see him scoring too much either. I like the under. It's a weird game, though, to kind of picture who's going to win it. I can't really see right now.
Yeah. Yeah, I can't see a clear winner, but I do not see many points going onto the board, especially with both quarterbacks not looking great, even though I just said I think Burrow's going to have a bit of a bounce back week.
Yeah. Well, after 3 interceptions in a row.
Yeah, anything is a bounce back from that. All right, next up we got Arizona versus Jacksonville. Arizona's coming in as a -7 favorite with a -333 money line and a +260 money line for Jacksonville. The over-under is 52.5. That's a lot of points.
That is.
I mean, it's very possible the Arizona offense, but I don't see it happening. I don't really necessarily love the under because I do not like betting unders.
Yeah.
So on that game, I think I'm going with not Carolina. The Cardinals -7.
Yeah. I got you. No. This game I'm really confident in. I got Arizona -7, and I honestly think the over too. I think Arizona, they're a fake team. They're not going to do anything, but against bad teams, they're going to score.
They could dominate.
They got stars,
but
so
it's just depending on if you think Jacksonville could put up points also.
I think they're going to turn it over enough and be losing by enough to where they're going to have to
air it out.
Yeah, and it's just points are going to come up either on picks and sacks for the Cardinals, or I see it as a high-scoring game, and I can't see the Cardinals losing in any world. I don't know why 7's the line. I would have it at like 10.
Yeah, especially with some of these other games that they have
They
here.
put up 30 in 2 weeks.
Especially this next one. It's the Jets and the Broncos. The Broncos are -10.5 favorites with a money line of -667, while the Jets are at a +475. The over-under is 41.5. And honestly, like I've said, I don't like taking unders, but this is another one where I feel I have to take the under. Because, I mean, yeah, Bridgewater's looked good, but they're not, like, lighting up the world. I don't see them being able to carry the Jets to scoring that many points. Because Zach Wilson, after looking how he did last week, which was really not good, to go in and play another good defense like the Broncos, I could see him having another struggling week and not putting up too many points.
For sure. In that game,
because I'm staying away from the numbers on that.
Yeah, I don't trust the Jets for 10.5, but then I don't trust the Broncos for 10.5 either.
Exactly.
That game's weird to me. I can't even think the over under. I really am got nothing for this game.
Like, right? It's so weird.
It's just the numbers are so odd because I would put the Broncos money line, but what's 400?
-667.
Oh, -667.
So there's no value.
No point.
Yeah.
Unless
you were to throw them into a deep parlay.
I don't see Denver as a team to win many games by 10 this year, but I also don't see them as a team to lose to Jacksonville. So it's a weird.
Well, they're playing the Jets. Oh. Just basically at the end of the day with the Jets and Denver game, the only thing that I truly can say I somewhat like is the under of 41.5.
Yeah, any of these money lines and what's the spread at?
10.5.
10.5. I really don't like it. The under 2. That's about it for this game.
Yeah. That game's gonna suck most likely.
I don't even want to watch it.
But next game is Miami versus Las Vegas. Miami is 3.5-point underdogs. Is Tua playing this week? Do you know?
I have zero clue at the moment, which is bad.
Okay, so
I know
assuming Tua is going to be out,
ribs.
I don't see Miami taking it, but I'm going to go ahead and read the rest of the line anyways. So it's a 3.5-point spread. Miami's a +150 underdog, while the Raiders are -175 favorites, and the over/under is 45.5. Again, if Tua plays, you are hammering that over. But if you're stuck with who came in?
Jacoby Brissett.
Yeah, Jacoby. But if you're stuck with Jacoby Brissett, I think they're safe bets. It's the Raiders money line, and then the Raiders on the numbers. I don't hate either.
Yeah, I like the Raiders everything in this game, and then if Miami can put up points, the over, I like it too. The Raiders have looked good.
Derek Carr's been airing it out.
I'm a Raiders hater, but I am.
You can respect what they're doing right now.
Well, here's the thing: I really like the way they're doing the receivers. I really like Braylon Edwards and Henry Ruggs, and then Darren Waller.
Darren Waller just eats up targets,
and they're moving. I really like the Raiders on everything this game, and the over.
Alright, this next game is probably going to be the toughest game to gauge this entire week. It's the Tampa Bay Buccaneers versus the Los Angeles Rams, with a minus 0.5 favorite towards the Rams. The Buccaneers are coming in at minus 118. The Rams are even money. And the over-under is 54.5. I feel like this is a weird one because both offenses are explosive, but both defenses are really good. They're both Super Bowl contenders. Like, I could easily see them putting up over 55 points. But at the same time, I can just see this being a defensive
17-10 out of nowhere.
Yeah.
I see it too.
And, I mean, this game could really go either way, but just the way that Tampa Bay's been rolling, they haven't had the toughest of schedule, but they've beat the shit out of the teams that they're supposed to beat the shit out of.
They're supposed to beat them, yeah.
So for that, I'm going to have to go with the Buccaneers minus 118. Obviously that would mean you take them on the spread also, but yeah, just Buccaneers on the spread, or money line for me.
I actually really agree with you on that one. I'm more confident in the Bucs because the way the Rams looked against the Colts, I don't think the Colts are even that great of an offense.
But the Colts can put it all together. That's the thing. They can look good on offense.
I still am just not the biggest fan. Even though they weren't putting up a lot of points, they were getting down the field on the Rams.
They were.
And the
They
Bucs
were moving the ball
a lot better offensively than the Colts.
A lot more weapons.
And I just think they're more consistent. I could see the Rams keeping up in this one and it being a defense or offense. But if I had to put, like I am having to put money, the consistency of the Bucs is what makes me think that they're going to do well. And the money line, the plus, it's basically the same.
Yeah.
I don't have many thoughts on the over-under on this one.
No, it's just money line. Yeah. Really, that's the only thing that really entices me in this game.
Yeah, we got the Bucs in this one.
All right, the next one it's the Seattle Seahawks versus the Minnesota Vikings. The spread is at a 1.5 point in the Seattle favor. With Seattle coming in at money line minus 125, while Minnesota is plus 105. The over-under is 54. I think I need to ride with Seattle in this one. I hate to do it because, fuck Seattle. But just, they've had Minnesota's number for the past how many fucking years now?
Yeah, including that missed kick a few years ago in the playoffs.
Which one?
Oh, man. I can't even tell you which kicker because there's multiple.
Yeah, but, the thing is, it's weird enough where I still feel like you could take the Vikings plus 1.5 because you expect them to miss that late game field goal that really matters.
Man.
But no, I'm staying away from that. I'm just sticking Seattle money line minus 125.
So, what's the over under in this?
54. Which honestly
isn't the
isn't
worst.
bad.
It's kind of high, but not the worst. So I actually do like the over in this game. And the way Minnesota did really well against the Cardinals last week, I think they're going to thrive in the same way. That running game, again, Dalvin Cook.
And Arizona's defense is better than the Seattle defense.
Yeah.
By far.
And even though I do think Tennessee's a better version than the Vikings at what they do, I think they do very similar things where they go outside in. And I see the Vikings basically doing what they did last week against the Cardinals, and I think they'll come out with a win on this one, but I would only take I'm going to take the 1.5 spread on this with the Vikings. The plus 1.5 with the over.
Okay.
I'm not confident on the over, but I'm pretty confident on the Vikings being in this game, so the plus 1.5
exactly.
for sure taking.
Next up, we got Green Bay versus the San Francisco 49ers. The line is 4-point favorite for the 49ers at a minus 189 money line, while the Packers will have a plus 160. The over-under is 47.5. I personally like the 49ers money line on this because, both teams have played the Lions. Both teams the Packers blew out the Lions in the second half. Yeah. But that first half, they didn't look the sharpest, and it's against Detroit. And same thing with the 49ers. They came out hot against the Lions, fell apart in the second half. So for that reason, I still think it's going to be a close game. But just the way that the 49ers have dominated the Packers relatively over the past several years since Shanahan's taken over, I could see them taking it, especially with it being their home opener.
Yeah. And what's the over-under?
47.5, which I do not hate, because I could easily see this one being a shootout.
Even a 21-28 already takes that 47 over. I do like the over on this one. I'm not going to take it, though. The Niners' corners are what scare me the most in this game.
It does, especially with Devontae Adams out
Yeah,
there.
with Devontae, he's just going to eat every route. I like the Niners money line. I do, just because Aaron Rodgers against Kyle Shanahan has not
paid out well, but
at all.
At the same time, it was with Saul as the defensive coordinator. We do have a different defensive coordinator now, but we're still running the same scheme.
We're running a lot, not the same, but very similar. And my biggest thing is Aaron Rodgers last week didn't impress me, even against the Lions.
No,
their
it was a lot of
team
dump
looked a lot
offs.
better.
It was a lot of dump off passes.
Yeah. And he was yanking the ball, but it looked like he was
did
throwing
have
it up.
He did have a couple of passes where it was like, wow.
But he was just throwing them up. They didn't look like Aaron Rodgers' sideline precision throws.
Aaron Rodgers throughout his career has always had those he's going to just throw it up there and it magically ends up in his receiver's hands.
Yeah.
I've been seeing that for years.
Random Hail Marys.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm not confident in anything with this game. A close game, but I would take the Niner money line here. Running back, I think we could put anyone in. I think it's more going to be a Deebo Samuel show like it is every Packer game.
Alright, and then moving on to the final game, we got Philadelphia versus Dallas in division rivals. The line is Dallas -4 with a -200 line, with Philly coming in at +170 with an over-under of 51.5.
Okay.
I initially wrote down Philly +4 just because it's an in-division game. Those games are always close. But honestly,
I know, I'm in that same boat. I feel you.
Because it could easily be the Dallas Cowboys show where CeeDee Lamb and Amari Cooper go for like 100-something fucking yards each and several touchdowns because the Eagles don't have that great of a pass defense.
Yeah, no, with that game, same exact thought process, division game. It's going to be close. It's going to be, and I know it is, but
the four points
I could really see Brandon Graham getting hurt in that middle, affecting that run game to where Pollard and Zeke start doing stuff, and once Pollard and Zeke start making moves, that passing game is just gonna blow up.
Yeah, there's no stopping them at that point.
Yeah, and I do like the Cowboys spread. I like the -4 Cowboys, and I also do think this is gonna be a high scoring game.
It very much can be, but I don't feel too confident in 51 because that is 28-24, and I honestly...
I can see 28-17. I think that's probably more plausible.
Or, yeah.
Something like that.
Well, that would only be 45.
Yeah, and I don't think that would be the over. Yeah. I think that would be kind of my prediction for that game, but I think it's close.
Fuck it. I think I'm going to just ride with Philly +4. I wrote it down earlier. Gotta stick with it.
Hey, it's a divisional matchup.
Alright. That was the last game. But before we go, I just want to say one quick parlay. 3 teams, all money line. It's a +391 payout. We got Cleveland money line versus Chicago. We got New Orleans money line versus New England. And then we got the Las Vegas Raiders money line versus the Miami Dolphins. 3 picks, all money line, +391 payout. Definitely think it'd be worth taking. Then you got a parlay?
Yeah. So I got the Colts +210, money line over Tennessee. I got Arizona -7.5 spread over the Jacksonville Jaguars, and I got New Orleans Saints +130 over New England. These are the 3 games that I think are pretty much my locks. Put a good amount of money on this, and yeah, these are my locks.
All right. With that concludes the first episode of the Dirty Boys Gambling Show, or NFL Prediction Show, whatever the fuck we're gonna call this.
Yeah.